Hello, welcome in. If you're here listening to this podcast, that means you are destined for something great, and we both know it to be true. So without further ado, welcome to the Dark Matter Podcast. Hey y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Dev here. And you know the vibes on this podcast. We got generational rants, we got a lot of motivation, we got some business insights, and of course, we got a lot of that empowerment to really get you inspired, get you motivated, and allow you to take that aligned action as a conscious creator. Now, what better way to do that than to share a conversation that I had recently with a very good friend of mine on this channel? Sharing a lot of these things does bring me joy, it does bring me excitement. There is a thrill within me when I hear that people are listening to the podcast and really finding success, or they're taking that information forward and they're making progress. And there's nothing that makes me happier than to hear that that information is helping people. Now, my friend, I actually ran into him recently. I let him know that I have a podcast. We're in 22 countries. It's on these sorts of topics, which I thought could really resonate and align with him. He said he would give it a listen, and he did. He started listening to it. He got a couple episodes in and then reached back out because he actually listened from episode 1 at the very beginning over a year ago now. And he's just been working his way up. Now, of course, the content that we're sharing now is very different. He just really resonated and aligned with a lot of the things that I was sharing at that time and asked if we could jump on a call. So we jumped on a call and it made me really, really happy. Now, for context, this was a really good friend of mine. We met at the shipping company job that I was at prior to my entrepreneurship journey. He came in working through a temp agency because he was in school finishing that up so he can go into his career and wanted to make some extra money on the side. And for me, most of you guys know that I was a paralegal, graduated, but still took the route of this. A lot of challenges and things, but that's the route I ended up going. So I was a full-timer. He came in as a temporary employee. And we hit it off. It just got to a point where we really resonated with each other. And a lot of what he had went through, a lot of what I went through, we appreciated the sacrifices, the challenges, the resilience that we both had at the time. And so we just immediately connected. And when I left that opportunity, although we have each other on socials, it's like, and I'm sure you can relate, some of us have those friends where we may not see each other for months, sometimes even years, but as soon as you do connect with them, it's like no time has passed at all. And I feel that's how this relationship very much is. And so when he reached out and we got onto the call, he was saying that he was really happy with how things have progressed for me. He didn't really know too much about what happened to me after I left back in 2018. And he'd been listening to the podcast, and a lot of the stuff there he's really resonating with in his own personal life. And so after catching up, he said that he actually had a list of questions for me to see if I could help get some insights on his current situation. And this is, again, when I said this really made me happy, this is why. As projectors, what we love to do is we love to share information. Now, our biggest downfall, and maybe the spiral that can happen for us, is when we share information to people who weren't open to receiving it, and it just falls on deaf ears. For us projectors, for me particularly, whenever I give someone advice or insights and they're not open to it, they don't look at it, and I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, that is really what gets me. It's like, I know the tools to help you get out of your current situation, but either ego gets in the way, or whatever reason it is that people don't want to ask, or they're not open to asking, or they want to just figure it out themselves, which, hey, hats off to you. But when we give advice, it goes on deaf ears. It really hurts us, and it puts us in a spin. It kind of makes us feel like, do we know what we're talking about? Why wouldn't this person want to listen to this information if they knew that we could get them out of their situation? And all these sorts of things, right? But anyhow, he had a list of questions, and so I wanted to share the conversation and parts of it with you because, again, I just feel like this information is so timely. It's raw, it's real, and this is really what goes on inside of us. And so the first and foremost thing he kind of mentioned, he has a very good job. He gets paid very well. His wife also a very good job. They get paid very well, and they want more, like anyone, right? They want more, and they get into these conversations where it's like, well, what else could we do? And I think that's the thing for a lot of us. We kind of get into our situation. We start reading books, listening to podcasts, understanding, maybe even using Chat GBT to really understand what our next moves could be. Then we get into paralysis by analysis, right? We just get so much information that we just don't know what to take action on. And then we end up just getting stuck. And so he mentioned to me that he feels a little stuck. He feels like he lacks a little bit of motivation, and he doesn't know what to do to get himself out of this here little rut. And this is something that I've experienced more times than you can imagine. This just came so naturally to me, and this is why I love this question as like an insight, because this is someone that is self-aware. This is someone that understands where they're at mentally. A lot of people think it's in their actions or it's in all these other things, but to be self-aware enough to know you're really needing something more, and when those fears, those doubts, limiting thoughts and beliefs come up to a point where you just lack confidence in being able to take action on things, you have a hard time just doing the things that you want to do and enjoying it. There's a simple answer, and this is what I shared. When people get into this rut and they sometimes struggle with limiting beliefs, lack of self-confidence, and it seems like you're on autopilot, the biggest reason that happens is because we have a low sense of self-worth. And usually this type of stuff happens when we have a hard time keeping promises to ourselves. I will be able to ask one question to you, and I'll know exactly why you feel this way. And the question I asked him was, have you in the last 7 days made a promise to yourself that you didn't keep? And when he said yes, that in a nutshell is the reality of the situation. When you can't keep, when you make promises to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start waking up early, I'm going to implement these things that I'm reading and that I'm seeing, or I'm going to read a book every day, I'm going to listen to a podcast every day, I'm going to apply for a new job, or I'm going to start that business, or whatever it is that we keep saying that we're going to do and we don't do, that in itself isn't something that you can just sweep under the rug, because you may be able to show up to your friends and family and your partner and just be like, yeah, I did everything that I could do. And they might believe you. But the one person you'll never be able to lie to is yourself. When you know wholeheartedly that you should have done the things that you said you were going to do and you didn't, that eats away at your self-worth. Because how could you go and start being a front-facing person, running a business or offering services, just wanting to take up more responsibilities at work and be someone that is responsible? And how could you do that when you have a hard time keeping your word to yourself? And I know some people kind of go into this thing of, it's easier for me to keep a promise to someone else than it is for myself. And I get that, and I'm sure it does happen. But the reality of the situation is then, and this is a main theme on my podcast, when that happens, you are outwardly focused. You're focused on fulfilling external needs, not internal fulfillment. And it's only a matter of time before that catches up to you. A lot of people think when you make money, that's what solves all your issues. But why is it then that musicians, actors, artists, athletes, all these people that make millions and millions and millions of dollars still end up going through depression and drugs and drama and gossip, because a lot of the time those people that go through that sort of stuff end up doing these things because they're external validating reasons. If they were internally whole and fulfilled, they wouldn't need to go find themselves. How many people do you know that were doing something consistently and then stopped it? Whether it was a relationship, they were on a fantastic diet, they had a great job, they did all these things and they lost it. The reason that those things happen is because the internal fulfillment of what that person needs and wants is not there. And when it's not there, we look outward. We look for external validation. And when you get too much of the validation, you're okay for a while. But once that subsides, all that's left is this hole that has never been filled. And now it's worse off, because it's kind of like you put the monster in the closet and you think by not opening the door that the monster is just there. He's 5 times stronger, or he's X amount of times stronger from when you had last left him there. You left him there for 10 years. He is 10 times stronger, waiting to come out and wreak havoc. And that's the situation. When we don't confront things like keeping promises to ourselves, and we go out and we do things and we expect that that's going to go away, it doesn't. And then when we start taking action in our life, we realize, holy shit, I lack a lot of confidence. Wow, I have a lot of doubts. Wow, now I'm really nervous when it comes to starting conversations with people. Now I don't really want to put myself out there. Things that came naturally to some people before, now you can have a hard time, because now enough time has passed. And when you reset, the reality of the situation is, when you pick things back up, how many promises have you broken to yourself in the last 7 days? And it's just that simple. You want to build confidence and self-worth, self-belief, and get rid of the doubts, the anxieties, the nervousness. Make a promise you can keep and fucking keep it. It's that simple. Keep the promise. If you can't keep it, don't make it. Because all that does is it just ruins your own mentality to a point where now you're nervous to do things that you felt so good about doing before. And I think that may resonate with people right now, because I know that has come up a lot over the last little while. So I love that was his first question. Great self-awareness. We pivoted into self-fulfilling prophecies and how your mindset really does play a big role, and how our internal narratives shape the world that we see. If you think bad things are going to happen, then they will. They manifest in real time. How to build a business with your partner, and how to really take action on creating a business. He actually has a business that he's building, but he wanted more direction on how to market it properly and how to actually grow in the right direction. That stuff was all fantastic. I think the biggest pivot that will really be helpful for you all is what I just shared. But I'll end it on this. I had told him, anything you do when you're starting a new habit, going to the gym or reading a book or doing any of these things, you should realize that no matter what it is, go into it with the mindset that you will not see any results until 90 days from now. And you should keep that at the forefront of your mind, because that will allow you to practice delayed gratification, which is so important in this day and age. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the conversation with my buddy. I'm sure when you catch up to this episode, you'll know exactly who you are. Man, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you. This is kind of a cool way to be able to share how much that conversation meant to me and how much our friendship means too. So I appreciate you, man. And I appreciate everyone that continues to listen to the podcast. Crazy. 22 countries. We're still doing well. A lot of listens. I think we're past 800 listens now. We're growing. We're doing our things. As always, y'all, I'll have some links down below if you would like to learn more about what it is that we're doing and how you can connect with us. We also have a masterclass coming up. So Jess and myself are running an absolutely free How to Start Your Online Business masterclass, a 2-day event. It's October 29th and 30th. So register for free. I'll put the link for that down below. Register, come check it out. It's absolutely free. And we're going to show you how we built our own online business. Hope to see you guys there. Hope you guys check out some of those links. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, share, subscribe to it all. You know I appreciate it. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.